Okay, good afternoon, everyone. This is Hollywood. It's by OSA and Insider Outsider. So Hollywood is a renovation to a much loved holiday house at Smith's Beach, Phillip Island. It's about 2 hours southeast of Melbourne. It's the surrounding coastal environment and the rhythms of the ocean that have been the central driver for the family's enjoyment of the house. Thoroughly tested and proven over 40 years of family use, the clients wanted to retain the easy function and utilitarian nature of the original house while adding further accommodation for the evolution of family life. The conceptual framework for the project was defined by the scale, rhythm, and tactile qualities of the original house, as well as its seasonal use. While the house had served 2 generations, the arrival of a third necessitated the need for an evolution. These 3 generations formed an expanded client group. Hollywood is one of a handful of houses in Smith's Beach designed by architect John Baird in the late 70s, early 80s. Baird's houses were designed with careful consideration of footprint, zoning, siting, view, orientation, and with minimal site coverage to allow space for landscaping. Of the 6 original Baird houses in Smith's Beach, only 3 remain, including Hollywood, which is located on a prominent corner location. This is Hollywood here. So all of Baird's houses were constructed singularly in timber and clad and lined with rough sawn treated pine. One of the 3 remaining can be seen here in 2018, and then again in 2020. As its neighbours demonstrate, expectations of housing more aligned with suburban life are emerging in this coastal environment, and in doing so, they are neglecting some of the key principles and values established by Baird. So the early design process for us took place over a number of years through both formal and informal discussions, diagramming, and testing, which revealed a set of critical qualities. They are singularity, scale, undercroft, connection, openings, enclosure, and materiality.
So this is Hollywood, and how did we get here? The existing structure and materials were valued by reusing the existing envelope in its entirety, all existing cladding and plywood flooring internally. Other simple but functional elements were retained or repurposed. Discarded Oregon beams became bench tops, the pantry became a closet, while a repositioned shed was moved to activate an underutilised area of the garden. The original cube-like form created a strong volumetric language, but also yielded carefully to the slope of the land. Our approach was to engage with these pre-existing conditions directly, continuing the scale of the rooms, stepped floor plates, and vertical inhabitation, while also reusing existing materials wherever possible. The design response and intent was to create a singular outcome as opposed to a clearly defined new addition to the existing building. It was understood that the combination of reused and new materials would achieve a natural uniformity with weathering over time. The response minimises the need for a variety of specialists and trades, with the alterations and additions largely constructed by one carpenter, using new and existing materials mostly off the shelf in keeping with the original design. This small 2-storey addition is consistent in scale with the original house. The upper level now contains all the requirements for a couple or a family holiday to be contained, while the ground floor allows room for further occupation and expansion as required. The new expanded undercroft provides a generous entry and undercover space to unpack gear, store surfboards, dry towels, and transition between inside and out. The key east-west axis from the original house remains, but the original staircase has been reused and rotated to create a better sequence for access and circulation. New north-south connections on both levels are also established, as shown in the plan here, both indoor and outdoor spaces. Additional connections were also established through a series of minimal interventions made internally to the original building, such as stripping back walls to their stud frames and bringing in light from the north, introducing windows for views and hatches for airflow. The bedrooms and bathrooms are now located in the original rooms of the house and maintain a sense of enclosure and with new levels of privacy afforded by the shift in circulation. Built entirely from timber, plywood, galvanized iron and glass, which were ready available on the shelf of the original build, the material and dimensional logic of the original house were tightly connected to the economy of its construction. Building materials are highly functional, require minimal upkeep, and have stood the test of time, improving with weathering and age. We can see here the original flooring in place now with new partition walls and internal linings. The project aims to capture a spirit of ease in occupation, and the configuring of the plan was therefore about a deep understanding of the client's needs and the desire for loose connection between inhabitants. Open shelving and storage allow occupants to be active participants in the life in the home, and the result is a house that gives generously to its occupants while asking for little in return.